Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Hey, yet again, we have a very special live stream broadcast. This, however, is not hitting the airwaves thanks to the UNC game that's going on today. And while I love UNC, yeah, sometimes they make it so that the airways are not filled with the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. But, as you know, regardless, we come at you hot and heavy with great health information so you can solve your issues yourself, be your own doctor. And yes, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free. And what are we going to be set free from today? Well, guess what? It's time to chat about thyroid, but from a different perspective. See, we've always kind of like blamed the thyroid for being the problem. Thyroid's not producing enough hormones. We don't feel energized. We're gaining weight. Our hair's falling out. We're fatigued and we're shaky and okay. I hate to say this, but a lot of people, listeners, viewers, you either know someone who has a thyroid problem, Synthroid, levothyroxine, Armour-throid, Nature-throid, whatever throid, and maybe it's you or maybe it's someone you know. And here's the challenge, guys. Even the holistic doctors have it wrong. It's not a thyroid problem. It's a functional issue as to why the thyroid is not working properly, but it's not that the thyroid is even not working properly. It's just doing what it's being told to do. So let me give you an analogy, all right? If I have, say, for example, a light, I think you guys can see there's this light that shines down so that, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong cameras. There's a light you can see that shines down to illuminate this so that I appear on your camera and on your screen so you can see me, okay? Well, watch. What happens if I grab that light and I do this? Do you notice something? So I'm dimming it. It's actually on. Can you see it, like up in the corner? Right there. There it is. See that light bulb right there? Now watch this. Ready? Wham! Okay, so I'm controlling the light through this thing. I don't know if you can see this. Nope, it's not going to make it. Through this kind of like regulating switch. I can turn it down. I can turn it off. And if you wait a bit, because they're LEDs, boom, there it goes. See it? Gone. See, notice? Gone. And then if I turn it on slightly, there it is. See it? And then if I do this, wow! Okay, so is there anything wrong with the light? No. I'm controlling it with this regulator switch to max, which is where it's at now, or 50%, which is where it's at now, or next to no percent, 1, or off, and again, it's LEDs, so 3, 2, 1, we're gone. Okay, so the light is responding to what is being told to do by the regulator. Bam! Man, I hope you see this. Your thyroid is just responding to what it's being told to do. So your thyroid's actually okay. Every MD on the planet would say, no, the thyroid is messed up, and that's why we're going to medicate it. Every holistic, naturopathic, functional whatever is going to say the same thing. The only difference is they're going to say, eat this food to support your thyroid, or they're going to say, take this natural, desiccated pig or pork or beef-based, whoops, pig and pork is the same, isn't it? Pork-based or beef-based supplement, and your thyroid will work. The approach is wrong, guys. So I'm going to come at you with something you probably never heard before. Your thyroid is actually not the problem. The real problem is what your thyroid's being told to do. And we got to talk about what tells your thyroid what to do. So hang on, buckle up. This is the holistic Ask Dr. Ernst approach to thyroid solutions. And we got to talk about what are you eating that's telling your thyroid to do the wrong thing? Because that's the signal. Okay, your food can tell your thyroid to work properly or to shut off. We got to talk about the power that goes to your thyroid that rarely anybody talks about. The nerve connections, the nerve control. There's 2 primary nerves that go to the thyroid. Vagus tells the thyroid to slow down. Sympathetics from the cervical thoracic spine tell it to speed up. And let me ask you a question. Do most people have hyperthyroid? Really overactive thyroids, or do they have hypothyroids? Lazy, sleepy thyroids. and then they're all overweight and fat and everything else. I think you got it right. 90+% of people have a low thyroid, hypothyroid, lack of thyroid, which means there's damage to the vagal tone. The nerve is not working properly. The vagus nerve is a brake. It's supposed to slow things down. So if the brake is broken, you can't slow stuff down properly. Things get all over the place and blah. And then we have the sympathetic issue. That's a speed it up. So if that nerve is interfered with, it's just, it's taken off. So it could be an imbalance between the two of them, maybe too much brake, too much gas. And your thyroid is going like this. The brain's saying, hey, slow down. So what does the thyroid do? Well, it slows down. But then it says, hey, speed up. So it speeds up, slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. And before you know it, the thyroid's like, I quit. I can't do this anymore. And it's not the thyroid's problem. But your doctors are clueless. Because what do they run? They run thyroid stimulation hormone tests. Hold up, that's not even a thyroid hormone. It's a brain hormone that comes from your pituitary gland and your hypothalamus and all that whole connection of the base of the brainstem that tells your thyroid what to do. Do you hear it? So it's a hormone problem, but not a thyroid problem. It's a brain issue. It's a signaling problem. So we got to talk about nerve supply. We got to talk about hormone signaling. We talk about the foods that you're eating that are destroying your thyroid function. And then we have to talk about the thing no one talks about. Thyroid hormone receptor interference. Thyroid hormone receptor interference, THRI. No one, except for me that I know of, is talking about this. And that's the heavy metal poison toxicities that block the ability for the hormone that your thyroid made to actually land on the cell. So here's your cell going, we're looking for thyroid hormone. The thyroid hormone's out here. Yeah, I'm right here. But the receptor is broken, so the thyroid hormone's like, I can't get in. And so it just floats around. It looks for more cells, but the cells are like, we're starving for thyroid. We need you to burn fat and make energy and have your hair thicken and have your vitality come back and have your skin be clear. Do you see this? It's that easy, guys. So what are we going to do today? We're going to reveal to you what's blocking your thyroid from working properly. We're going to help you to stop eating the foods that are destroying your thyroid function. We're going to teach you how to support that thyroid and send the signal for this, right? Send the signal for that. Where I missed it. Sorry. Send the signal for that. We want your thyroid there, like super duper strong. Most of you are walking around with thyroids like this. And you're medicating it to make it look like that, but your body says, I want that. So using the chats, okay, Facebookers. Sorry, there you are, Facebookers. Thumbs up, likes, hearts, whatever. I want to see this thing explode because we're only broadcasting this on Facebook Live. So share right now. Share this and say, oh my God, if you have a thyroid problem, watch this video. And if you're on YouTube, it's a little harder, okay? You got to copy and paste the link that you're at right now. Go to your Facebook page or go somewhere and send it out and say, please watch this video. And then hit the like button on Google and then comment below so we can see that you're there. Just leave a comment. I love it, Dr. Ernst, I'm here. Something like that. You've got to comment. You guys have to engage. I hate to say it, but these algorithms exist. If no one's liking, if no one's red hearting, putting up smiley faces or emoji icons or sharing it, then Google and Facebook say, we don't really care about this. But if you just simply like it and then you share it and then you comment and comment like 1,000,000 times, just say, I send comment, love send comment, this send comment, thank send, you send, doctor send, Ernst send. Okay, it's crazy, but it's how you break the bots. It's how you make the algorithm think, whoa, there's a lot of people talking about this. It raises it on the feeds because today people are hungry. Do you get it? We have to feed them through the feeds the information. And maybe take a moment and copy and paste a link to your Instagram page or your Twitter page or your Parler page, okay? The more you share what I am saying, the more people it impacts. And it's not about me, guys. It's about them getting healthy. Okay, so number one, the greatest tragedy for your thyroid is that you have this going on. You have a lack of energy to the thyroid, right? We want that, but this is what you have. Okay, so what supplies the energy to your thyroid? Real simple. Your brain energetically stimulates a signal down the spinal cord over two major nerve groups, the vagus nerve, which is your parasympathetic system, and the vagus nerve is responsible for like slowing things down. Okay? And what happens is a lot of us have vagal nerve interference, and so the vagus nerve is not sending that slowing, calming signal. Okay? So the autonomic nervous system control, meaning you don't have to think about this. It happens automatically. And thank God for that, because what if you had to think right now, all right, I got to make 14 units of T4, and I also need 12 units of T3, and I need my TSH to be about 1.5. So, hey, brain, I need you to secrete 17 units of TSH. Like, you guys would lose your mind. You would forget to make your heart beat, and you'd be dead. The thyroid nerve receives autonomic nerve supplies. Parasympathetic fibers from the vagus nerve come out of your neck, and they go down in your neck, and they go right there to the thyroid. And its job is to slow the thyroid down. Okay, so if you have issues with your vagus nerve, the thyroid's like super active, and that would be hyperthyroid. Kind of rare, but it can happen for some of you. Now, there are nerves that come out of your neck, and they're primarily in the zones of these are common, like ready? The recurrent laryngeal nerve, the superior laryngeal nerve, the inferior branch of the superior laryngeal nerve, and all these nerves come out of your neck, primarily in the zones of like C6 and C7. Okay, the C stands for cervical, and the numbers tell us which nerve. Okay, you've got 8 nerves in your neck. Well, 16 technically, because there's right and left. So if nerves 6, 7, or 8 are interfered with, then the thyroid doesn't get the full supply through all these laryngeal and recurrent nerves and everything else. Don't get bogged down on the terminology. Basically, those nerves in your neck make your thyroid faster. They help it to secrete and produce. And here's a caveat that maybe makes you go, ah, I see the connection. 99.999% of people that I work with that have thyroid problems have degeneration, disc damage at C5 and C6. It's the most common section of your neck to be arthritic, just so you know. And if the disc is thinning, the nerve gets pinched, and the nerve then can't send the signal to the thyroid. And if you don't send the speed up nerve, guess what happens? The thyroid slows down, so your levels start to drop. And your medical doctor says this, well, your TSH is high and you have thyroid disease, and take this medication for the rest of your life. And they never checked the thyroid nerve. So number one, if you're taking notes, is if you have a thyroid problem or you have a family history of thyroid, you need a neurological structural assessment of your neck. What does my neck have to do with my thyroid? Well, your thyroid's in your neck, okay, directly, right there. And the nerves come out from your neck, and they come out from the back of your skull. Dr. Ernst, I think you're blowing smoke. My medical doctor, who's a thyroid specialist, never told me that my neck is probably connected to my thyroid. Well, they're wrong. And remember, they study medicine, and medicine says take pills for everything. And functionally, we say take no pills for everything, fix your body, and your body will heal by itself. So just trust me in this. And I know you might be like, why should I do that? Well, do you want to get off your medications? Do you want yourself to start healing? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want your skin to get better? Do you want your hair to grow back? Notice how it's not happening with your meds. Fix the nerve. All else follows. Nerves. Find out which ones they are and fix them. Okay, a good question. How do you fix a nerve? Well, you got to find out what's going on, what nerve is involved, and you need structural specific functional chiropractic care. That is not, okay, it's very specific. Using instrumentation, examination, pre and post x-rays. It's what I do for a living as a functional chiropractor, okay? That's what I do, and I can help you if you need help. Hey, down below is a link. If you're looking to connect with us, we have a free consultation offer. Literally, you just choose the date and time. I'll call you and we'll chat. We've seen thousands of thyroid patients, including autoimmune, which we'll talk about if I have time, get healed and get well. Cutting their meds 75%, 50%, 100%. Why? Because we stop medicating, we stop masking, and we don't use supplements to make your thyroid think it's healthy. We do this. Ready? We go, there's the thyroid low. Boom, adjust it. Boom, adjust it. Boom, adjust it. Boom, 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 boom. And then it just starts working. Okay, step number one. Stop poisoning your thyroid with lack of nerve supply. You've got to have power flowing to it. Step number 2, recognize it's a hormone issue. And when we talk about hormones, we have to talk about them as like receptors or receivers, okay? So I brought my Apple earbuds to give you an analogy, okay? When you open up an Apple earbud case, there's these 2 little receivers for the earbuds. So here comes an earbud, and it just slides right in, and then click. Whoops, I put in the wrong one. And then ready, click. So there it is, received. And when you put the second one in, what you'll find out is green light turns on that says charging. And if you take them out, notice that the green light has now turned off. Boom, there it goes. Well, now it's searching for them because I'm touching them. And eventually it will turn off, supposedly. There it goes. And now it's not in there, so there's no receiving. So here's what happens. And now my phones are freaking out because they're saying the AirPods are disconnected. Ready? This is the receiver. This is the hormone receptor. And here comes thyroid stimulation hormone landing on the thyroid. Well, if the thyroid is interfered with because there's heavy metals and pesticides and toxicides, this can't get in there. And so what your brain does is it says, hey, make more of this. So now here's 2 of them. And it's like, come on, let us in. And so when it doesn't get in, the brain's like, well, make more and more and more and more and more. So TSH, thyroid stimulation hormone, starts climbing. And your doctor says your thyroid's broken. Do you see how far off they are? There's nothing wrong with the thyroid. The receptor's interfered with. What can do this? Well, heavy metals are a big player. Mercury, aluminum, lead, tin, thallium. There's a ton of heavy metals. Pesticides, Roundup, glyphosate, toxins. What you need to do is go and pry the receptor open, because now TSH goes, woohoo, I'm in. And what happens is they click in there and the thyroid says, thank you for the stimulation, and it starts making the hormone. Do you see it? Okay. It's a hormone issue, not a thyroid issue, which means it's a toxic pesticide, heavy metal problem. And can you test for this stuff? You better believe it. We can run tests for pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, heavy metals, toxins, and poisons. And if you have a thyroid issue and you come back positive, clean the receptors out. They open up. Bam! TSH goes down. T4 goes up. And your doctor goes, whoo, how'd you do this? And you can say, well, I listened to this radical webinar show on thyroid by some doctor, and I just followed their advice and I healed myself, right? And your MD is going to go, well, let's keep doing that. Okay, third, are you making your thyroid shut down because of the foods you're eating or the foods you're not eating? 7 foods that make your thyroid sick. Ready? In no particular order of importance, but I printed them for you, and I'll share this for you guys if you want. And I'm holding it up to our camera so you can take a peek. 7 foods that destroy your thyroid. And I wonder how many of these you consume every day. Numero uno. And again, this is not in some specific order, like number 1, this is the worst, and number 2, it's the second worst. They're all the worst. Soy. It messes up the production of the hormone itself, because soy is a hormone, technically. We get estrogen and other progesterones from soy, and soy is extremely dangerous because it's genetically modified heavily, and it's sprayed with pesticides, Roundup and glyphosate heavily. So you'll notice a trend here is that all these foods are heavily sprayed with pesticides. Pesticides block the receptors and make your TSH shoot through the roof. Grains, especially gluten, and it's not that the gluten itself is causing the damage as that's carried with pesticides, but the gluten irritates your intestines, causing a leak, and then you make antibodies that attack the thyroid, and that's called autoimmune thyroid. And if you're watching right now and you're taking a thyroid medication, you've never been tested for autoimmunity, according to the research, you have a 90% chance that you have an autoimmune disease. You don't know it. You're medicating, thinking that you're following your doctor's orders, and the immunity is getting worse, and so that's why you take more medication. How many of you started at 0.25, went to 0.5, then 0.75, then 0.88, then 100, then 125, 175? If you're on thyroid meds, you know what I'm talking about. They just keep going, well, your TSH is going up, and we need to give you more to make it go back down, and it's not the problem. Cruciferous vegetables, when they're raw, can be dangerous because they have something called a goiterogen. So kale, though healthy, might rip your thyroid to shreds. and things like broccoli and Brussels. They have goitrogens that will be neutralized when you steam them or cook them. So if you're a raw vegan, watch out. Your thyroid can start to shut down. Caffeine is another negative stimulant for the thyroid. That's a phrase that's hard to say, right? A negative stimulator. Because a stimulant's usually a positive. So how do you negatively stimulate? Well, you shut off the production of the hormone itself. You affect the adrenal glands, and it stimulates a anti-thyroid effect. Caffeine also comes from coffee mostly, and most of you are drinking poisonous, dangerous coffee that has pesticides in them. Notice the trend. Does soy have pesticides? You bet. Does grains have pesticides? Absolutely. Do cruciferous vegetables carry pesticides? You better believe it. Does caffeine have pesticides? Yes. So do you see what it is? You're just eating pesticides. Sugar? Okay, it's in everything. You could say, Dr. Ernst, what causes broken bones? Sugar. What causes me to not be able to remember my name? Sugar. What causes toenail fungus? Sugar. Sugar is the cause of everything, and you've all heard this from me over and over and over and over and over and over again. It causes damage to your gut. It causes inflammation. It makes your insulin spike. When insulin goes up, thyroid hormone goes down, so we don't want to be eating sugar. Here's a big one. Just water. Okay, I know you think that we should say drink more water, but be careful the kind of water you drink. Tap water, especially Charlotte tap water, bromine, chlorine, fluorine. All the enes are halides, and halides shut off hormone production by blocking receptors. They are technically metals. So they land, and the TSH says can't get in, and the metals shut down the hormone receptor. So therefore, TSH starts climbing because your thyroid can't hear it. And number 7, the most dangerous of them all, I said that they were all in a non-specific order, but if you want to really shut your thyroid down, keep using your vegetable oils. Keep cooking with them. Canola, corn, soy, vegetable oil, Wesson, the heart health oil. No. The most dangerous oil you can ever consume is oil from vegetables or the seed oils, peanut oil, cottonseed oil. Those vegetable oils are literally murder for your thyroid function. So again, remember, we're going at this from a different perspective. We're talking about the things that you're doing or not doing that are making your thyroid turn itself off even though it wants to be turned on. You're making this happen. You're eating those 7 foods, and so your thyroid was here when you were 25, and because you keep eating them, there's 35, there's 45, there's 55, and your doctor's like, hey, you've got to take a medication to do this. No, you do not. Okay, third issue that we talked about is it could be an autoimmune disease, and that comes from the damage to your intestines, and then you build these antibodies. Thyroid peroxidase enzyme antibody, TPO-AB, is a big deal. It's a test you can have run to tell us, are you destroying the enzyme that makes the hormone? And then you have thyroglobulin hormone antibody, and that's just the actual backbone structure of the hormone. So you can either attack the hormone or you attack the production. If you're doing both, it's called Hashimoto's autoimmune thyroid disease, and it is responsible for 90% of people who take a thyroid medication, yet their doctor never tested them for it, so they were just told, take this levothyroxine, Synthroid, Armothroid, Natrethroid, whatever throid, and you'll be okay. No, you won't. You'll be medicated and you'll still have your symptoms. You'll be going, well, gosh, I'm gaining weight still. My numbers look normal, and I feel like, okay, that's typically a thyroid patient. So let's turn the tide on this. Go get a structural x-ray of your neck by a functional chiropractor like myself or some of the ones in our group, and find out if you have vagal nerve or sympathetic nerve irritation. I know it sounds crazy, but it'll set you free. Number 2, assess your toxic load to find out if you have pesticides, herbicides, and heavy metals that are blocking the receptors so TSH can't land. If you're doing that, your thyroid's doing this, okay? The thyroid can't work without the hormones, okay? Number 3, stop poisoning yourself with this list of foods. No soy, grains, raw veggies, steam them instead. No caffeine unless it comes from clean coffee, which would be something you have to get through Purity Coffee if you want. By the way, I'm doing a podcast coming up soon with the founders of Purity Coffee, so make sure you tune in for that. Sugar and fluorinated, brominated, chlorinated water and vegetable oils, gone. Okay, those three things will help to set you free, but now we need to feed that thyroid. We need to turn that thyroid back on, okay? So what can we do to stimulate our thyroid? Well, here they are. Slowly, I will scroll through the video feeds so you can see this. This would be what you want to replace those 7 foods with. What are they? Coconut oil, apple cider vinegar, ginger, B vitamins, D3 vitamins, nuts and seeds, and beans. It does say dairy products, so I'm going to just throw a little caveat, all right? Not conventionally fed, corn-fed dairy pus, okay? That's what that stuff is, okay? Instead, you want healthy, raw dairy, which is hard to find, unfortunately, in North Carolina because there's some stupid law that says drinking raw milk is illegal. Just think about it for a second. Why would they want you to not drink raw milk? They'll say it's because you can die from it, from getting an infection because it's so dirty. It has so much bacteria in it, you could give yourself an infection. No, it'll help you heal yourself, and so they don't want that happening. So they've regulated raw milk. Beans, but be careful for the lectins. If you listened to my show last week, it's the pulse beans, the non-oil seed beans, which is mostly just garbanzo. Flax seeds, chia seeds, and be careful about number 10, but many of you are iodine deficient. But if you have an autoimmune disease, don't do that, okay? You can actually make it worse if you take iodine, so be careful. Okay, so what would we want to be focusing on then to help us get all that stuff? Well, eat them. Coconut oil is a great oil. Cook with it, rub it all over your body, and every night, rub your thyroid with coconut oil so it goes in through the skin. Apple cider vinegar is an alkalinizer. It cleans out your blood. It helps you to detox. Same with ginger. It's an anti-inflammatory. You can chew on ginger straight up, but it's a little spicy. So a lot of people do teas, or you can take the powder, put into a capsule, and swallow it yourself. B vitamins are needed for energy, and almost all of you are B vitamin deficient. Vitamin D helps to boost your immunity, which will stop the autoimmunity. I have seen a correlation that every single autoimmune thyroid patient has very low levels of D3. And when we bring them up and we use anti-antibody therapy, I said that right, anti-antibody therapy, which we do in our clinics, you'll see the levels start to improve. And when we just eat healthy foods, right, nuts and seeds and things like that, and drink clean, really pure water. Okay, so that's it, really, guys. Like, it's not that complicated. Do you sometimes need to support your thyroid because it's not functional and you're medicating it heavily? Yes. So am I a bigger fan of taking desiccated thyroid as opposed to medicated thyroid? Yes. But that's not the solution. That's a crutch. Okay, if you sprain your knee, you don't just say, well, the crutch is helping me, so I'll wear it the rest of my life. No. You use the crutch until your knee heals, and then you throw the crutch away, or you sell it on eBay because, my God, they're actually quite expensive. So that's it, guys. That's simple. I've got 2 minutes till we hit the 30-minute mark, so let's do this. Something fun, right? Down below, comment. Many of you have already left a couple comments, but for the number of people that I see live watching, come on. Break out of your shell and say something. Just even if it's OMG, this was amazing, send. Why? We want to get the algorithm up. Okay? If you're on Facebook Live right now, I beg you, scroll up through the comments and you'll see 3 things. You'll see like, and you should like this feed. You'll see comment, and you should have already commented. And then over there, I think it's actually, I don't know where it is, somewhere, there's a share arrow that looks like it's curving like this, okay? Now, I've had some people say, well, nothing happens when I push that. Well, you have to finish the process. You click share. This window will pop up, and it'll say, what do you want to say about this on your feed? Let's feed the hungry people, guys. Here's what I would recommend right now. Click the share button. It pops up, and you say, oh, my goodness. OMG, right? I just watched this thyroid podcast from Dr. Aaron Ernst, or from Ask Dr. Ernst. This is something you should see. Please watch. Send. Now, what did it do? It just put that post on your Facebook page and all of your friends, however many you have. Did you know 5,000 is the maximum friends Facebook allows you to have? How ridiculous that they say you can only have 500 or 5,000 followers. But how many of you actually know these 5,000 people? Okay, you've got your 500, your 250, whatever, that are your friends, right? So you want your friends to see it. Okay, and guess what? Someone's going to say, thank you, Mary Jane, Jack, Joe, Bessie, whoever's listening, watching. I gave you a shout out, Bessie. I see you. You're right there. And guess what? Share it. Why? People are so hungry for health information. They're so in need of it, and you hold the secret. But the question is, are you going to push that button? Okay, those of you on Google, YouTube, it's a little more complicated. All right, ready? You have to leave a comment. And so I want you to do that. Thanks, Dr. Ernst. This was incredible. Send. But that's not enough. You have to go somewhere over here, there, wherever, and you have to find the one that says subscribe. That gets you connected to our YouTube channel. So every time I go live, boom, there you are. And just so you know, I've got some amazing things coming up in the not too distant future. Interviews with holistic physicians, interviews with doctors, MDs, interviews, question and answers. We're going to come at you with all kinds of fun stuff this year. Okay? Then, how do you share a YouTube video that's live? Well, you go up to the very top and you'll see the address bar that has youtube.com/whatever, whatever, code, whatever. Copy that right now while we're live. Right now. You got to do it right now. And then now you open up a new tab. It's hard on Google. And then you load your Facebook feed, or you load your Parler feed, or your Instagram feed, or whatever you use. And you say something like, this show was incredible. It was about fixing a thyroid functionally. You should watch it. And then you paste the YouTube link and you hit send. And there it goes. Guys, it's that easy. Oh, Dr. Ernst, I have to do this sci-fi tech stuff? Yep. Who remembers the old Star Trek? That little thingy, right? And it would measure your disease. Guys, we're almost to that. We almost have one of those things, okay? Remember the little pads where they would be typing Stardate 2286 and they would put all the notes? That's called an iPad, guys. Whoever created Star Trek, George Lucas, I think it was. I don't know. Is that Star Wars? Who did Star Trek? Who did Star Trek? Sorry, I'm looking at my producer. I don't know. I know. I'm a Star Wars guy, too. Maybe you guys know. Here, hey, ready? Let's use the comments. Who came up with Star Trek? Who developed Star Trek? I want it down there. Okay? Whoever that person is, we should thank them. That guy was a visionary. Remember this? Tea, Earl Grey hot. Psh, and it just showed up out of nowhere. They're working on that tech right now. Do you guys know that? Okay, so beam me up, Scotty. It's going to happen soon. So right now, you're going to have to learn tech, guys. You got to do it. So hopefully you had fun today. All the infographics that I post will be up shortly. All the stuff you guys need will be up shortly. And this is the time right now just to have some love. Let's see those hearts and likes and thumbs. Brrr. And then I'll see you guys next week. I hope there's no preemption next week because, man, it's been 2 weeks in a row where the airways have been empty for real health information. But again, we come at you every week this way. Thanks so much for tuning in. 2 little housekeeping things for all of our faithful followers. In about 3 weeks, I'm hosting a thyroid webinar. All the natural steps to fix a thyroid. If you or someone you know struggles with the thyroid, go down there. There's a link somewhere that says register for my thyroid. Copy, paste it, send it, email it, and I want you to register. Even if you don't have a thyroid problem, come on, because it's a big issue. A lot of people struggle with energy, weight loss resistance, fatigue, that's energy, hair loss, that's huge. Think about all the treatments. I saw this commercial saying there's this new treatment for hair loss, and it's like this supplement you take, and they're all talking about like it's phenomenal, it works. They've got the pre and post, and guess what, guys? It's just Rogaine. They just rebranded themselves. That's all it is. Okay, there's nothing new about this. So make sure you like us, make sure you share us, make sure you register, and I'll see you guys next week on the live broadcast, hopefully on the airs of Ask Dr. Ernst. If you need more information or you need some help, connect with us, guys. There's so many ways. Website is below. Pages are above. Links are there for you. I'll see you guys next week. Until then.